Okay, so I know 2020 was kind of a weird year for everybody, but you ended up on a 3-fight winning streak. Kind of feels like you had some momentum. So where do you feel like you're at in your career right now with everything that's happening?
I feel like I'm exactly where I should be. You know, like you said, 2020 was a good year for me. Wasn't the best year for everybody, but I consider it one of my best years of my life. And you know, what happened in 2020 is the reason I'm in this position. And you know, sometimes when opportunity knocks, you need to capitalize on it, and I feel like that's what I did in 2020, so here we are.
Yeah. And now kind of matched up with, a legend, a former champ. I mean, give me, when this fight came across your desk, what were the thoughts of getting this matchup?
I started watching Dominic probably back in like 2011, and to get that name was, pretty surreal. And like I said, I feel like I'm in the exact position I should be. Dominic Cruz is the kind of guys that I got into this sport to fight. And, what a better way to take out a legend.
Yeah. It was funny, I saw a lot of people asking if he felt disrespected being on the prelims. What about you? You feel like you're a pay-per-view main card fighter now?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, the featured bout on the prelims is a step up for me, so I'm pumped with that. But, like he said in an interview, we all get paid the same no matter where we're at in the card. And, the featured bout on the prelims is a good spot to be in. So I'm still working my way up, maybe a main card next fight.
And I'm curious how you prep for a guy like Dominic, right? Like you said, I mean, you've seen him forever. You know what he's about, but there's no, recent footage on him because he has these extended layoffs. It's like one fight in 5 years. So how do you prep for a guy like that?
Any fighter that I prepare for, first thing I do is prepare myself, sharpen everything that I have and everything that I've been working for and working towards. So obviously at this level, you got to take into fact that guys like Dominic Cruz are a little bit unique. I think he was very unique 5-10 years ago, but guys switching stances, doing their footwork, all that stuff, that is something that I've been seeing my whole career almost. So preparation was, pretty similar. Tried to get the best looks I could for Dominic, but mainly sharpen myself.
Man, you win this fight. It's a big moment, right? So what do you feel like? You start talking about contendership and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't think this fight puts me in title contention, but it puts me right in the direction I need to be. I knock off 3 fights this year, and I win all 3. I should be knocking at that title door.
Last thing for me, what kind of fight do you think we see here? I mean, on paper, it looks like it could be a fight of the night type kind of fight. I mean, are you expecting that, or do you feel like you can go in there and dominate?
Yeah, I said a while ago in my career, the way I fight, if you survive, it's going to be a fight of the night, and if you don't, I'm looking at a performance bonus on a knockout or submission. So same thing goes for Dominic Cruz.
What's up, man? Are you surprised Dominic took this fight? Because before the Cejudo fight, he was kind of like, I just want a title shot or nothing. So are you surprised that then he took a fight with you following that?
I think that if he wants to actually make a title run, I'm a good guy to start with. The top 15 is, bantamweight, the top 20, top 30, any of those guys could be title champions or, in the future. So if he wants to make a real title run, instead of just jumping into a title shot, maybe take out a couple contenders to make sure that he is, another contender for the title still.
John mentioned there's not a lot of footage out there on him, but we did see him against Henry Cejudo, and in that fight, it did seem like Cejudo was getting kind of some good fortune with the leg kicks. Is that a strategy that you looked at and thought, thank you very much, Henry?
I can't let you in on all my secrets, but that's a pretty good assumption there. Dominic, he didn't look much different in his last couple fights, like the Garbrandt, the Cejudo, the Dillashaw, compared to 5-10 years ago. It looked like the same type of guy. Obviously, he's got a high fight IQ. I'm expecting maybe some curveballs in there as well, but Dominic Cruz has his style, and it really hasn't changed much in the last 5-10 years.
You mentioned that he's one of those guys that you sort of grew up watching. Have you sort of anticipated the moment? I can only imagine how surreal it's going to be when you're in a cage. You go, oh, that's Dominic Cruz.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those moments since I've been a part of the UFC. I think my first one was when Bruce Buffer first announced my fight in there, and yeah, but I'm a competitor, and I've been competing my entire life, been put in the big stage in front of big names, and I've always shined bright, and I don't see anything different for Saturday.
Thanks, man. Last one from me. Outside of your own fight, there's obviously a big blockbuster main event this Saturday. Let's hear your thoughts on it. Your prediction: who's winning, Israel or Jan Blachowicz?
Man, I'm gonna go Jan. I'm gonna go against Izzy. Keep the champ out of there.
Okay, so given yours and Dom's connections to Tucson, how far back, can you remember the first time you had any interaction with Dom in your MMA career? Or before?
When when I made it to Tucson, I think Dom was in San Diego. I showed up at Tucson, I think 2012, and he was already UFC champion, all that stuff, and he was training at Alliance. I think he did pretty much most of his career over there. He left Tucson pretty early in his career, so I never actually came across him in Tucson, or I think he's called a couple of my fights, but that's the only interaction I've had with him. I wouldn't even call that an interaction. I've heard him.
And then, given there is the title fight in your weight class on the same card you're fighting on, was it important to get on this card specifically so you can be on the same timeline as all of these contenders moving forward?
Yeah, after the Fight Island fight, I was pushing for December 12th because that was the original date for the bantamweight title, and that was my whole reason for being on December 12th. Trying to get another one there at the end of the year too, but it worked out. The fight got moved, and I'm still on the bantamweight title card.
Was there any thought in your mind, like, say someone gets hurt, I'm on the win streak between me and Dom, I might be the one to jump and slide into that title fight?
I'm definitely not the one that's making that decision, but I would definitely step in and fight Jan or Sterling, no problem.
Who do you think wins that fight?
Man, I'm gonna go Jan. I kind of want to fight Jan someday. I think that'd be a fan favorite fight and a fun fight for me. So hopefully he keeps the belt. Thank you, guys.